Taiwan, I'm Liao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The search continues for Chinese fishers missing off Taiwan's outlying islands in two separate incidents. While relations between Taiwan and China remain tense, differences are set aside when it comes to helping people lost at sea. It's a time of both tension and cooperation between Taiwan and China. The two countries don't usually see eye to eye. China claims Taiwan as part of its sovereign territory, a claim that Taiwan rejects. But now, the two sides are working together to save Chinese fishers lost at sea. On Thursday, a Chinese fishing boat capsized and sank near Taiwan's Jinmen Islands, leaving 2 dead and 2 more missing. In a separate incident, another Chinese fisher fell overboard near Taiwan's outlying Mazu Islands. The Coast Guard in Mazu says it's working with its Chinese counterparts and asking the public for help.
本署基于海上人命安全救助，可与陆方搜救船舶协同扩大搜救范围，请附近作业渔船及航行船只协助救援工作。
But this cooperation does not mean that all is well between Taiwan and China. On Friday, Chinese Coast Guard boats from Fujian province entered prohibited waters around Jinmen. Taiwan's Coast Guard followed the Chinese boat throughout its maneuver. Chinese vessels made a similar incursion on Saturday morning.
我们积极履行执法职责，一体谋划，综合治理，把执法力量部署到辖区海域每一个角落。
Last month, another Chinese fishing boat capsized while trying to evade Taiwanese authorities, causing the death of 2 Chinese fishers. China has blamed Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party, saying it showed no remorse over the deaths of its nationals. The investigation into that case, as well as recrimination around it, is ongoing. Perhaps mindful of that human and political fallout, for now it seems Taiwan and China are focused on the Coast Guard's other job besides maritime border enforcement, saving lives at sea. One of 3 Taiwanese nationals rescued from a human trafficking operation in the Philippines is now under investigation for possibly being an accomplice. The man, surnamed Zhang, is a wanted fugitive in Taiwan. He was among 800 people rescued from a fraud operation on the northern Philippine island of Luzon. Taiwan authorities are working with their Philippine counterparts to investigate Zhang's involvement. Filipino, Chinese, Vietnamese, and Malaysian nationals were also forced to work on the scam, which involved online dating and cryptocurrency. The first ship carrying desperately needed food aid has arrived at the coast of Gaza. The vessel, which set out from Cyprus on Tuesday, is carrying 200 tons of food. It's part of efforts to relieve the humanitarian crisis in Gaza as a result of Israel's assault on the territory. The UN has warned that more than 500,000 people in Gaza are facing catastrophic levels of food insecurity. And the World Health Organization reports children are starving to death. Israel is blocking aid deliveries to Gaza by road. To get around this, countries have been airdropping supplies and now hope to maintain a maritime corridor to set up relief efforts. A United Nations inquiry says it has gathered more evidence that Russia is torturing Ukrainian prisoners of war. The UN Commission of Inquiry on Ukraine says torture has been widespread and systematic. It says the scale of cases could amount to crimes against humanity. The commission described torture methods including beatings, electric shocks, sexual assault, verbal abuse, and withholding food and water. Russia denies accusation of torture and mistreatment of prisoners. Caribbean officials say a new plan for leadership in Haiti is moving forward. A transitional council will appoint an acting prime minister and council of ministers and organize general elections. There hasn't been a leadership vote in Haiti for nearly a decade. The council plan comes after armed gangs took control of the capital Port-au-Prince, forcing the unelected Prime Minister Ariel Henry to resign. The gangs now control more than 80% of the city. An estimated 360,000 people are internally displaced in Haiti. Amid growing violence, the UN says it will pull out all non-essential personnel. An AI monitor has caught a fuel refinery polluting the air in southern Taiwan in violation of the law. CPC Corporation, which owns the facility, will be fined up to $160,000 US. The Kaohsiung city government set up the AI system in 2021. It uses cameras to monitor pollution sources in industrial areas 24 hours a day.
AI 系统针对黑烟火光可及时进行影像判烟，并同步推播平台，提供稽查人员第一时间进场查核违法事证。
Taiwan's government is discussing stronger protections for children in the foster care system. That's after an infant died because of suspected abuse by his nanny. But NGOs say there needs to be more government oversight of the adoption process, which is usually handled by social welfare groups. Tiffany Wong reports.
Barely holding on. That's how activists describe the grandmother of a 1-year-old boy in Taiwan's foster care system who died, apparently at the hands of an abusive caregiver. Now they are calling for a revision of the country's child care policies to prevent tragedies like this from happening again.
不太能讲话，然后精神非常涣散，没有办法吃，没有办法睡的那种哀痛之中，甚至他是非常自责的。为什么我没有钱，我没有能力可以来照顾他？
The child's death has prompted a national outcry. The boy was put up for adoption, but died after 4 months in the care of a Taipei nanny hired by the NGO handling his adoption. Now local governments in northern Taiwan and the health ministry are reviewing adoption practices, proposing improved training for nannies and more check-ins by social workers. But some advocates say politicians have not looked at the problems carefully enough. They said that check-ins should be unannounced, not scheduled.
破掉的网，他可能拿 OK 绷再稍微再贴一下，假装好像他又完善。所以你们是不食人间烟火，也不知道说真正实务上面面临的问题，荒腔走板，距离民众的生活越来越遥远。
The mayors of Taipei and neighboring New Taipei responded to the comments, saying the proposals are not yet complete and that they hope they can address the needs of the public.
行政院其实如果能够提出完整的方案，而且能够聆听民众的声音，立法院也可以主动提案，这个大家都会乐意看到。
对加害者，我们绝对严厉处罚，不加宽待。法律面我们一定要更定定、更周全、更到位。
But whether the changes proposed by officials can make a difference is what matters to these advocates, who hope to give a voice for the children unable to speak up for themselves. John Su and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus.
A fire department in central Taiwan is combining artificial intelligence and drones to prevent fires ahead of one of Taiwan's largest holidays. Eric Gao has more.
In just seconds, this drone uses artificial intelligence to zoom in on and identify a group of people lighting a fire. The fire department in the central city of Taichung is practicing how to use drones equipped with advanced cameras to monitor certain areas.
今天用的这一台那个无人机啊，它就可以用长效距离的定焦镜，那个放大距离来到20-30倍，然后就可以锁定那个疑似嫌疑犯。
The use of drones is part of a push by firefighters to prevent disasters ahead of the Tomb Sweeping Festival in April. It's one of Taiwan's largest holidays. Families honor their ancestors by cleaning their graves and making offerings. But people burning incense or offerings often cause fires around the holiday.
很快速的蔓延它的燃烧范围，那恐怕会危及到其他的这个住家或者是其他的这个建筑物。
Speaking to TaiwanPlus about privacy concerns, the fire department says the drone's AI can recognize objects and people as it looks for signs of fire, but does not identify individuals. The drones can record suspected illegal activity from high above with the goal of preventing wildfires. This unmanned aircraft can also automatically track moving objects, helping firefighters monitor changing situations.
例如是车子、人，进行一个框框的锁定。那这些人或车它移动的时候呢，我们的飞机就会跟着自动转动，跟着自动长焦、run in run out， 然后做这个长距离的追踪。
Preventing fires doesn't conflict with honoring one's ancestors, and with a little help from AI, everyone in Taichung can have a safer tomb sweeping festival. Dolphin Chen, Jaime Ocon, and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
New research shows that the risk of lung cancer is more closely linked to genetics than smoking habits. Doctors from a Taipei hospital found that immediate family members of someone with lung cancer, like a parent, child, or sibling, are at particularly high risk. Lung cancer is one of the most common cancers in Taiwan. Doctors are encouraging people to get regular lung screenings as early detection improves chances of survival.
这个基因的这个表现，不是说一两个基因就会造成，它是多个基因的变异的问题所造成的。所以目前还是相关的研究当中啦，只能知道说它是有遗传性。
A Formosan black bear has been released back into the wild after narrowly missing having to have a paw amputated. Maddie Anstruther has more.
Calling it out by name, these indigenous residents of Taidong County are coaxing a cautious Formosan black bear out of its cage to release it back into the wild. In August last year, a local resident discovered La Nihu caught in a noose trap with a seriously injured foreleg. Authorities took the bear in for treatment. The injury was so bad they were planning to amputate, but in the end, La Nihu's paw was saved. Formosan black bears are Taiwan's only endemic bear species. These protected animals are endangered, with an estimated 200 to 600 individuals living in the wild. Taidong authorities have been working to save the bears and have rescued 7 from traps since 2019. They're cooperating with local indigenous groups who help patrol the mountains for trapped bears.
在尊重原住民传统的狩猎文化的前提之下，能够与部落的族人一起携手来做濒危物种的保育工作。
The government is also encouraging hunters to use more bear-friendly traps to help ensure this iconic animal can continue to roam Taiwan's mountains. Justin Wu and Maddie Anstruther for TaiwanPlus.
Avian flu is spreading in Antarctica, hitting threatened bird species living there. The H1N5 strain of the virus was first confirmed in Antarctica last month. It has since been spotted in both penguins and cormorants. Penguin colonies stick close together. Scientists fear this may increase the risk of transmission. They believe the virus came to Antarctica through birds migrating from the northern hemisphere. Taiwan is surrounded by coral reefs, but they're in danger. A new partnership with scientists in the U.S. is hoping to change that. Harrell Hughes reports.
Coral reefs. They make up only a small percentage of the ocean, but are home for more than a third of all marine species. Healthy reefs are colorful and thriving, but even a small change in the environment, and they turn into this, white and barren. This is called coral bleaching, and happens when the ocean's temperatures get too warm. It's a global issue, and marine scientists are doing what they can to stop it. A team in the U.S. spent years testing different types of heat-resilient coral, and now they are sharing that knowledge with Taiwan.
We will have outplanted resilient coral genotypes that can turn the tide on the potential extinction of coral, and we can save the rainforest of the sea for future generations.
Bleached coral is not dead and can be revived, most effectively through transplants. Reefs grow in nurseries, and when they're strong enough, they're transplanted to damaged areas. Nearly all the reefs in southern Florida were bleached in 2023, when ocean temperatures hit record highs. The Florida team focused on heat-resilient coral, with a success rate of more than 70%. And Taiwan is interested in trying the same.
如果佛罗里达这个 moat 它这个有些珊瑚不适合在它那边那个温度的话，那可能在我们这边也是适合。那可以try说我们这些在它那边到底适不适合？这就是一个双边的一个技术跟研究，互相彼此分享。
Taiwan is surrounded by coral reefs, and they have been in the danger zone for several years now. Scientists from Taiwan and Florida are now working together with the goal of restoring 10,000 corals in the next 3 years, so that Taiwan's surrounding reefs will no longer be bleached and lifeless, and can return to being a thriving ecosystem. Andy Xue and Harrell Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Before we go, come with us to South Africa, where lions rescued from Ukraine have been released into a sanctuary. I'm Liao. Take care, and I'll see you next time.